Good morning. It is 8 a.m. on Tuesday, May 13th, 2025, and I call the Economic Development Authority meeting to order. First item of business is a roll call. We have a quorum present. Item 2.1 is the EDA April 8th, 2025 minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the EDA April 8th, 2025 minutes.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Item 3.1, Administrative Activities, April 2025.
Good morning, President Mark Graff and Commissioners. I will go over a few things from the reports this morning. Note under the Section 8 program, I wanted to give you an update on the enhanced vouchers. So we received 56 enhanced vouchers for the tenants at Linderhof Park Apartments. Their Section 8 contract expired April 30th, so as of May 1st, 42 tenants leased up with us on the enhanced vouchers. There are 11 tenants there who were unassisted. They have a voucher available to them for 3 years. If they would become income eligible during that time, they would be able to utilize that voucher. And then there were 3 units that were vacant. So the 11 unassisted tenants and the 3 vacant units, that totals 14 vouchers. Those automatically convert to housing choice vouchers and become part of our regular housing choice voucher program. And then for the 42 that are being used, as those tenants go off the program or move out of that property, those will also transition over to housing choice vouchers. So in time, and this could take many years, eventually they'll all become housing choice vouchers. And so that'll just grow our regular program. And then they just become available to anyone who applies off our waiting list that's eligible for a voucher. I do want to remind you, we will be getting an additional, I believe, 21 vouchers for tenants at Sunset Apartments because they're opting out of their Section 8 contract, which will expire September 30th. So we'll have another group leasing up October 1st, and that'll change our numbers again. So. And then under the EDA report, I just wanted to note, I don't know if any of you were on the board at the time of the Milford Heights subdivision, but that was a TIF district, and that has now been decertified, and the remaining funds will be transferred to the EDA. And Nicole, refresh my memory, how much?
$33,000.
About $33,000, and that'll just go into the EDA fund. Any questions on that? Okay. Note under the Home Buyer Assistance Loan Program, we did have one loan close in the amount of $9,915. Under the Get It Ready Loan Program, we had a loan close in the amount of $21,000. And under the Multifamily Rental Rehab Loan Program, 2 loans closed, each in the amount of $50,000. And I have another application that I'm working on, so that, and that's also for $50,000. So those funds will be depleted for the remainder of the year. End of report.
I'll make a motion to accept the administrative report.
A second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4.1, EDA May 13th, 2025 claims list.
I looked it over. I didn't have any questions. I'll make a motion to approve the EDA May 13th, 2025 claims list.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I just wanted to note this was the first month that we had a credit due to the solar panels for the utility bills, so you'll see that under the public utilities item.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5.1, award contract to Better City for strategic plan services.
All right, you can see on the report, we received 7 proposals. 3 staff members reviewed and scored the proposals, myself, Community Development Director Dave Schnobrook, and City Planner John Nisley. You can see the scores listed below. Better City scored the highest with a score of 240, followed by Bolton Menk at 236, ISG at 235, WFG with 222, Region 9 219, KLJ 190, and CETA with 183. Better City has experience in preparing strategic plans for communities the size of New Ulm. They also identified a varied and inclusive approach to community engagement for the project. And their schedule indicates that their plan will take approximately 6 months to complete. If a project or if a proposal is approved today, we would have the city attorney prepare a contract, and we would ask that the executive director and finance director be given authorization to sign the contract on behalf of the EDA. Better City's proposal was in the amount of $54,000. It wasn't the lowest cost proposal, but again, it did score the highest.
I reviewed all of the plans, and I do like Better Cities' experience that they have with economic development, where others maybe did not have as much experience with that. And I also, something that wasn't brought up in the overall report, but they did have measures to follow through afterwards, because I'm very much a believer if you've gone through the cost and the time for a strategic plan, you need to have the ability to follow through and make sure you do what you said you were going to do. So I like that they had those measures as well.
Mm-hmm. One other thing I wanted to mention that came up in our staff review of the proposals, Bolton and Menk and ISG both have experience working with New Ulm. However, Bolton and Menk just did the city strategic plan, and ISG is currently working on the Park and Rec master plan. And so we felt it was important to have a completely fresh set of eyes on our city that maybe will have a new perspective or viewpoint, being they haven't worked with us before. So we felt that was important.
Commissioners, comments or questions for Heather?
I'll make a motion to select the firm of Better City to provide consulting services for the preparation of a strategic plan in the amount not to exceed $54,000, and allow the finance director and executive director to sign the contract.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. For any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6.1, Economic Development Activity Report.
Right, I will just note a few things. The New Ulm Partnership had a discussion on a CEO program, CEO standing for Creating Entrepreneurial Opportunity, and that is for high school juniors and seniors. I attended a presentation on the program with some other community members, and it looks like there's interest from the New Ulm Public Schools, MVL, and Cathedral High Schools at possibly pursuing this program. The Albert Lee superintendent from their public schools was at the presentation I attended. They've been participating in this program for several years now, I think 7. Is that right? You were there. And he had nothing but good things to say about it. And what really was interesting is that the students that go through it, they go out and visit about 40 businesses in their community, but they also have to create their own business, and they have to sell their products, and it really introduces them into the world of operating a small business in a tangible way. I think it would be a great program to bring to our community, and so I'm hopeful that that our schools will pursue that. The earliest it would come to New Ulm would be the fall of 2026 school year. It just wouldn't happen for the next school year. There's too much planning that would need to go into it, and fundraising and things like that. So there's no cost to the school for the program. If I recall, it's all funded by sponsors. So you may hear more about that. Child care team, we held our annual provider appreciation training event in April. So we talked about that, and the providers continue to express their gratitude that those training hours are offered here in New Ulm for them every year, so we plan to continue that event. Note under the commercial property rehab loan program, one application was received. Under the small business loan program, one application was received. Other than that, I did send out an email yesterday. I don't know if you've all seen it in regard to Business View magazine. We did an article on New Ulm with them last year, and they want to do a follow-up article. So we have some staff interviewing with them this afternoon. And we're up for an award, a potential award for the Best Managed Cities category. So that's exciting. Any way we can get New Ulm on the map and in the news is great. So, end of report.
I'll make a motion to accept the Economic Development Activity Report.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There being no further business on the agenda, this meeting is adjourned.
Good job.
Didn't have to kick you.
12 minutes.
Before I-